there's a lot of people trying to raise money in the charitable sector, and like it's not obvious on how to do that. Like I think about breakers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of dancers who could be getting grant funding, at least here in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even apply. And that's okay. Like that's
Yeah.
completely fine. But I've heard people say they want to apply. I'm like, well, write, just, just write it. Just write one and get denied and get that feedback and take the feedback and put it into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
The likeliness of you probably getting money if you write it, get the feedback, bring the feedback back and put it back. If you wanted to go down that path, is quite high. Like it's very high because
Yeah.
breakers in Canada don't submit a lot of grant applications. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so again, I'm not saying that that's the way that we should be surviving and living off of
Mm-hmm.
grant money, but at the same time, like
But it's
I
an
hear a lot of
option.
people, it's an option. It's just it's another option, you know. And there's quite in Canada specifically, there's a lot of money available for that. So, um, you know, I spend a lot of time convincing people to just apply. You know, like
Yeah.
just
But I
throw it
think
out
that's
there and see
it's
what
that
happens.
kind of thing that maybe some people they even just need that advice. Like they're it's so maybe that the concept of like applying for a grant and doing this thing it's just so like foreign to them that even the idea of like submitting it and like getting rejected, they don't even know that they get feedback on like, well, why did they get rejected or whatever,
Mm.
or that kind of thing. Like, and but even just having you telling them that like get rejected and then like get feedback on it so that you can make the next one better, that kind of thing, like that, even that simple thing, that simple little thing that you just tell some random person, like that can be the motivation that gets them to actually do it. But like so few people actually do that kind of thing or put information out there or do things to, I guess, in a more like public way. It's a lot of times like very like, oh, you're just having this conversation and you tell the person that kind of thing. But you know, things like, say, with what you're doing or what Frost or Buddha or any of these people are doing, like just getting that message out there, I think is so important.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, even the idea of writing a book is a bit of like a BS-y thing to do. Like, I don't have anything to say more than any other person, but like that doesn't mean I'm not going to go and do that because like
Mm-hmm.
I want to document it for myself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I want to put that down on paper. I'm not saying that like I wrestled with my own self and saying like, who am I to write a book? It's like, who is anyone to write a book? I think every human being should write a book, like if they want to write a book, because I feel everyone has something. So, you know, why do I have to doubt myself, you know, for someone else? It's really like, why can't I just listen to the deep sort of thing that is happening in my life that I need to respond to, or I feel like responding to, and respond to it, you know? And if someone wants to pick that up, cool. If they don't, that's just as cool. Like, I don't want to force anything upon anyone. And like, same thing as the grant thing. Like, that's not for everyone. I totally get that. But
mm-hmm.
if you wanted to apply for one, anyone who's watching this, like, hit me up and I promise I would revise a grant application for free just to like support the community. Cause like, I want more breakers to get that grant money because it's available, you know, like
Yeah,
straight up,
yeah,
like hit me up if you're considering it. Cause like, sometimes it does take that person
yeah,
who's gotten and done that before to, you know, just say, hey, you can do this. And really, there's so many, just that particular topic kind of drives me a bit up the wall because like there's so many like contemporary dancers proportionately who get that funding, and they're, you
yeah,
know, nothing against that community either, but it's just disproportionate in the amount of dances being done in the way that it's being done and the way it's being funded and supported by, you know, the powers that be. So yeah, hit me
mm-hmm.
up if you want a grant revision for
Yeah,
free. I
yeah.
got you.
But it's like, you know, even that, yeah, that kind of thing of like people, there's just like no real history of it in the breaking community. So it's hard for people to even have the knowledge that it exists, right? Like
Yeah.
if people don't know that it exists, then they're not going to apply. Or if there's no one that's done it before, then, you know, if you wanted to apply, like part of the problem is just you got to do it, like you said. But
But
it's
it
always
takes, honestly, anytime I've ever written one, it takes like a day. Like
mm,
literally, I throw away a day doing the most random things
yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
Like sit down for 2 hours on one day and 2 hours on another day and just like get as much of whatever you can get done and just submit it. Like doesn't you
yeah.
choose how much time you want to spend on it, right?
True,
Like
true.
but and if you're not good at writing, then get a friend who can write. You know, like there's so
Yeah,
many
exactly.
ways. Like
Yeah,
speak
exactly.
out loud and let your friend type it up. You know,
Yeah.
like
So like
it's
this is what I mean. Like just having someone say these things to tell people them, I think is so helpful. That like you can do it. Here's some simple little things that you can do to make, because like I think a lot of people that look at grant writing, and because yeah, some of them are these huge projects that take months to write or whatever, but some of them are like you said, they're relatively simple, and it's just a matter of like, okay, making this thing that seems large and like, okay, well, how do we make it more manageable? Here's what it actually is. Here's what you goes into it, and like, you just type up this is how long it takes, and it makes it more manageable.
yeah, I mean, it's the same as like if you're selling a product, right? Like if you're selling hats or t-shirts, like
Yeah, yeah,
you got to print the t-shirt, start showing up to jams and selling it, or go to retail stores and say, "Can you put this on your rack?" Like it's the same thing. Like if you put in the effort,
mm-hmm.
it might not work out. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying this stuff always works out. And in fact, it probably doesn't work out as much as it does. But to your point earlier, like if you don't put yourself out there on the things that you believe in, then like those things are never gonna really come to be.
What did Wayne Gretzky say? You
Oh
miss
yeah.
you miss 100% of the shots. No, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that even him? I don't know.
Now